Reality is far more flexible than you've been led to believe, and quantum shift is the key that reveals why. These words guide you into the art of bending reality by harmonizing your thoughts and feelings with the quantum field itself. As you listen, you'll realize that manifestation is not something you do, but something you become. Once this understanding awakens, reality has no choice but to follow. Quantum Shift: How to Bend Reality. Introduction. In the dance of existence, quantum shifting emerges as the ultimate expression of your creative power. This sacred knowledge reveals that consciousness itself is not merely witnessing reality, it is the primary force shaping it. Like a master artist before an infinite canvas, your thoughts and feelings paint the picture of your experience, stroke by stroke, moment by moment. The quantum field responds to every vibration you emit, whether whispered or declared. Each feeling becomes a command to the universe, each thought a seed planted in the fertile soil of possibility. When you align your inner state with your deepest desires, you activate forces beyond ordinary perception. This is not manifestation through force, but through resonance, a harmonious attunement with the natural flow of creative energy. You need not struggle against the current of life, for you are that current. The power to shift reality lies not in opposing what is, but in becoming so aligned with what could be that transformation becomes inevitable. As you embrace this truth, the universe must mirror your internal landscape, for this is the law of quantum correspondence. Your consciousness is not contained within your physical form. It extends into the very fabric of existence. Each moment offers an opportunity to tune your vibrational frequency, to adjust your inner harmony until it matches the frequency of your desired reality. This is not about controlling outcomes through sheer will, but about dancing with the quantum field in perfect synchronicity. Remember, you are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are its expression. As you embody this understanding, reality has no choice but to conform to your awakened state. The quantum field is simply waiting for your conscious participation in this eternal dance of creation. This is the art of quantum shifting, not a technique to be mastered, but a truth to be lived. Before we get into the book, comment "I am ready" to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The Awakening of Inner Energy. Chapter 1. The Whisper Field. In a village untouched by time, a woman named Agnes Whitcomb discovered one of the universe's most cherished secrets. Each morning, as dawn painted the sky in gentle hues, she would venture into her garden, speaking softly to her flowers. What began as an innocent habit soon revealed a truth that would transform your understanding of creation itself. As Agnes tended her roses and lilies, she noticed something extraordinary. The flowers that received her loving words seemed to radiate with an inner light, their petals more vibrant, their stems stronger. This was no mere gardener's tale, but your first glimpse into the hidden mechanics of reality. The flowers responded not to her words alone, but to the loving vibration carried within them. Through this simple observation, you now unlock the fundamental principle of existence. Feeling is the universal language. Your emotions create ripples in the quantum field, far more potent than any action or word. Whatever frequency you emit becomes the blueprint for reality to follow. Consider the tale of Bertram Lowell, whose small tailor shop stood at the corner of two winding streets. In times of hardship, when customers were few, Bertram made a remarkable choice. Instead of worrying about scarcity, he filled each stitch with gratitude. Gratitude for the fabric beneath his fingers, for the skill in his hands, for the very opportunity to create. As Bertram maintained this frequency of appreciation, an extraordinary shift occurred. Customers began appearing as if drawn by an invisible thread. His shop, once quiet, now hummed with activity. The universe had recognized his sincere vibration of gratitude and responded in kind, proving that frequency indeed surpasses effort. These stories reveal the truth you've always known in your heart, that reality is responsive to your inner state. When you align your emotional frequency with what you wish to create, the quantum field must respond. This is not magic, but natural law, as reliable as gravity itself, ancient practice of light. As you prepare for rest each night, find a quiet moment for this sacred practice. Settle into a comfortable position and allow your breath to find its natural rhythm. With each inhale, imagine you're drawing in pure light, the very essence of creation. Feel this light filling every cell of your being. With each exhale, envision yourself sharing this light with the world around you. Continue this gentle exchange until you sense a subtle shift, a moment when reality itself seems to whisper back, "I hear you." In this sacred communion lies the seed of all manifestation. This practice aligns your frequency with the creative force of the universe, enabling you to speak the language that reality understands best, the language of pure vibration. Chapter 2. The Mirror Between Worlds. The art of shaping reality begins with understanding a simple yet profound truth, as witnessed through the story of Clara Mayfield. In the gentle glow of lamplight, Clara would create shadow puppets against her bedroom wall, enchanted by how the slightest movement of her fingers could transform the entire scene before her. A minor adjustment would turn a fearsome dragon into a delicate butterfly, a towering castle into a humble cottage. What Clara discovered through her innocent play revealed one of the universe's most sacred principles. The outer world responds to inner movement. Just as her fingers conducted a dance of shadows, your thoughts orchestrate the dance of circumstances in your life. The wall upon which Clara projected her shadows is no different from the canvas of reality upon which you project your beliefs. This wisdom found its echo in the life of Floyd Ellison, a quiet soul who worked as a clerk in a bustling office. For years, Floyd moved through his days expecting harsh words and critical glances, and like a faithful mirror, his world reflected these expectations back to him. Then, through some divine inspiration, Floyd began to hold a different vision in his mind. He started expecting kindness, imagining his colleagues as sources of support rather than criticism. As though reality itself had been waiting for this shift, the atmosphere in his office began to change. The same people who had seemed stern now offered warm smiles. Conversations that once felt tense became pleasant exchanges. Without a word being spoken about this transformation, his entire work environment reshaped itself to match his new inner vision. Your world operates by this same principle. Like Clara's shadow play and Floyd's workplace transformation, the circumstances of your life are constantly adjusting themselves to match your inner convictions. Every thought you hold is a finger movement in this grand shadow play of existence. Every belief you nurture is a blueprint that reality faithfully follows. Sacred practice. Find a reflective surface, a mirror, a window, or even still water. Stand before it and gaze at your reflection. Choose one noble thought that represents the reality you wish to create. Hold this thought in your mind while looking into your own eyes. Feel the truth of this thought settling into your being, knowing that as you stand there, the universe is already beginning to adjust itself to match your conviction. Maintain this practice for several minutes, allowing the power of your aligned belief to ripple outward into the fabric of creation. Chapter 3. The Breath of Possibility. Like Clara's shadow play, you shape the tapestry of existence through each thought and feeling that moves within you. What appears as solid circumstance is but a reflection of inner movements, responding to the subtlest shifts in your awareness, just as shadows dance with the gentlest motion of hands against light. When your thoughts change, reality must follow, not because it bends to your will, but because it eternally mirrors the consciousness that observes it. This truth echoes through the experience of Floyd Ellison, a clerk whose life transformed when he dared to expect kindness rather than criticism. His colleagues' behavior shifted as naturally as light follows shadow, their actions conforming to his renewed inner vision. This mirroring principle extends beyond human interaction into every facet of existence, as Edith Granger discovered beside her open window. Through mindful breathing, she found that each exhale could carry away old patterns of thought just as surely as wind carries fallen leaves. Her practice unveiled the intimate connection between breath and being, each inhale drawing in universal energy, each exhale releasing what no longer served her growth. The breath, you see, serves as the bridge between seen and unseen realms. It is the faithful translator of intention into form, as Harold Pemberton learned at his piano. When he breathed with purpose before performing, music flowed through him with effortless grace. He became not the creator of melody, but its channel, demonstrating how surrender often achieves what effort cannot. In his experience lies a vital key. Harmony manifests not through force, but through alignment. Just as a piano string must be perfectly tuned to resonate with its intended note, your being must align with the frequency of your desires. This alignment begins with the breath, the most fundamental rhythm of existence. Sacred practice. As night draws its curtain across the sky, find a quiet moment for this ancient breathing ritual. Settle into stillness and observe your breath's natural rhythm. With each inhale, feel yourself receiving the universe's limitless energy. With each exhale, release whatever stands between you and your highest vision. Let every breath remind you that you exist within creation, even as creation exists within you. In this reciprocal flow lies the power to transform shadow into light, limitation into possibility. Chapter 4. The Language of Light. In the dance of sunlight across Ethel Winslow's kitchen floor, an ancient truth revealed itself. As she watched prismatic colors paint her morning ritual, understanding dawned, not through study or effort, but through pure observation. Just as light separates into its component colors when passing through crystal, your thoughts divide into manifest experiences as they travel through the prism of consciousness. The universe operates through this sacred principle. Your inner light creates the colors of your world. When your thoughts remain clear and purposeful, reality cannot help but refract that clarity into beautiful patterns in your daily life. Like sunlight streaming through stained glass, your consciousness projects patterns of experience that match its quality. This wisdom found perfect expression through Vernon Tate, whose clock repair shop became known for more than mechanical excellence. As he worked, Vernon infused each timepiece with silent blessings, his focused appreciation flowing into every gear and spring he touched. Soon, his clients reported mysterious changes. Their days seemed to flow with newfound grace, as if time itself had been imbued with harmony. Vernon had stumbled upon a fundamental truth. Whatever you pour into any action ripples outward, touching dimensions beyond the physical. His story teaches that intention shapes not just objects, but the very fabric of experience. Through his practice of blessing each clock, Vernon demonstrated how conscious attention transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. The light you carry within holds this same transformative power. Your thoughts, like beams of consciousness, stream through the prism of emotion to color your world. When you maintain clarity of purpose and purity of intention, reality responds by refracting those qualities back to you in countless ways. Just as a crystal needs no effort to transform light into rainbow, you need not strain to create beauty in your world. Your role is to maintain the clarity of your inner light, allowing universal forces to naturally refract your consciousness into harmonious circumstances. Ancient practice. As darkness settles tonight, find a quiet moment for this timeless ritual. Envision each thought arising in your mind as a gentle candle flame. Watch as its light touches the shadows of doubt, uncertainty, or confusion. See how naturally darkness dissolves in the presence of light, just as confusion cannot persist in the presence of clarity. Let each thought candle illuminate your inner world until your consciousness glows with pristine understanding. This practice, passed down through ages, reveals how light and clarity within create harmony without. Chapter 5. The Invitation of Stillness. Along a tranquil pond's edge, Mabel Cartwright discovered one of existence's most elegant truths. As she sat watching ripples dance across the water's surface, she noticed something remarkable. When her mind raced, the water seemed disturbed. But as her thoughts settled, the pond's surface grew perfectly still, as though mirroring her inner state. Through this simple observation, you begin to grasp a fundamental principle of reality. The outer world responds to your inner stillness. Just as a pond becomes a perfect mirror only when undisturbed, your life reflects your deepest truth, most clearly when you cultivate inner peace. The power of stillness extends far beyond mere relaxation. It is the fertile void from which all creation springs. Like the pause between breaths or the space between thoughts, silence holds infinite potential. Within these quiet moments, the universe whispers its secrets to those patient enough to listen. Chester Franklin embodied this wisdom during his daily bus route through the city. Instead of allowing the chaos of traffic to disturb his peace, he chose to rest in gratitude between stops. As his inner calm deepened, an extraordinary transformation began to unfold. Passengers who normally rushed past with downcast eyes started offering warm smiles. Some even remarked that their entire day seemed brighter after riding his bus. Chester's experience reveals a profound truth. Your state of being ripples outward, touching everyone around you. Just as a single pebble creates circles that reach the farthest shore, Your serenity extends far beyond your personal space. When you cultivate stillness within, you become a source of peace for all who cross your path. The ancient ones knew this secret well, that in stillness lies the seed of all possibility. When you quiet the endless chatter of thoughts, you align with the creative force that moves through all things. This is not merely about finding moments of peace. It is about tapping into the very source of manifestation. Practice the breath of stillness. Find a comfortable position where you won't be disturbed. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm, neither forcing nor controlling its flow. As thoughts arise, let them pass like clouds in a vast sky, maintaining your focus on the quiet spaces between breaths. Feel how existence continues to move around you while you remain in perfect stillness, like the depths of an ocean unmoved by surface waves. Practice this for as long as feels natural, knowing that each moment of stillness ripples outward, touching countless lives with its silent blessing. Chapter 6. The Pulse of Intention. In a small cafe between time-worn buildings, Hazel Dupree stumbled upon an ancient truth while performing her morning ritual. As steam rose from her coffee cup, she stirred clockwise, weaving dreams of abundance into each gentle motion. What began as a simple habit transformed into a sacred practice of intention. Within weeks, opportunities appeared as if summoned by an unseen hand. A chance encounter led to a promising business partnership. An old friend introduced her to a mentor who recognized her untapped potential. Even small blessings multiplied, finding perfect parking spots, receiving unexpected discounts, discovering exactly what she needed at precisely the right moment. This seemingly magical sequence reveals a fundamental law of existence. Intention shapes reality through the precise focusing of energy. Your thoughts and feelings are not mere responses to life. They are the very forces that mold it. Like a potter at the wheel, your concentrated intention shapes the clay of possibility into tangible form. The universe operates through pattern and rhythm, responding to the frequencies you emit. When you align your actions with clear intention, even the simplest movements become powerful conductors of manifestation. Every stirred cup of coffee, every written word, every mindful breath can serve as a vessel for your creative force. This truth found beautiful expression through Walter Hollingsworth, an aging teacher whose passion for education had dimmed over decades in the classroom. Rather than surrendering to weariness, he made a profound choice: to love his lessons again, to pour intention into every word he spoke. The transformation was remarkable. Students who once dozed through lectures began sitting up straighter, their eyes bright with interest. Questions flowed more freely, understanding deepened, and an atmosphere of genuine curiosity filled the room. Without changing his curriculum, Walter had changed everything by shifting the energy he brought to his teaching. His experience demonstrates that intention's power lies not in forcing outcomes, but in altering the quality of energy you contribute to each moment. Like a pebble creating ripples across a pond, your intentional presence sends waves of influence through the fabric of reality. This law operates ceaselessly, whether you're conscious of it or not. Every thought, every feeling, every action carries the seed of intention. By bringing awareness to these seeds, you gain the ability to plant them deliberately, cultivating the garden of your experience with wisdom and purpose. Practice. The pulse of creation. Close your eyes and place your hand over your heart. Feel its steady rhythm. This is your personal generator of creative force. With each beat, silently declare your wish for harmony. Let this pulse become a lighthouse, broadcasting your intention across the quantum field. Know that every heartbeat carries your desire into the vast sea of possibility, where it will gather the elements needed for manifestation. Continue this practice until you sense your intention merging with the greater rhythm of life itself. Trust that your heart's sincere desires are even now taking form in ways you may not yet perceive. Chapter 7. The River of Allowing. Along a winding path through ancient woods, Ruth Abernathy sought peace with fierce determination. Each morning she would sit cross-legged, muscles tense, willing herself to find tranquility. Yet serenity remained elusive, slipping further away with every strained attempt to grasp it. One autumn day, as leaves drifted down to settle on still waters, understanding dawned. She watched how the stream moved, not through force or struggle, but through natural surrender to its course. The water didn't push against rocks. It flowed around them. It didn't fight gravity. It yielded to it, finding the path of least resistance. In this moment of clarity, Ruth discovered the forgotten wisdom. Nature never strains to be what it is. The oak doesn't force itself to grow. The bird doesn't overthink its song. The river doesn't struggle against its banks. They simply allow their essence to unfold. This truth extends into every aspect of existence. The law of attraction operates not through strain and effort, but through alignment and allowance. What you resist persists. What you allow flows. When you cease struggling against what is, you open the channel for what can be. Clyde Boone embodied this principle through his art. For years he painted landscapes with meticulous precision, judging every brushstroke, fighting his natural instincts. His work, though technically perfect, felt lifeless. Success eluded him until the day he set aside his critical mind and allowed his inner wisdom to guide his hand. As he surrendered to the creative flow, something remarkable occurred. His paintings began to breathe with life. Colors danced on canvas, capturing not just the physical scene, but its spiritual essence. Collectors sought his work not for its technical merit, but for the energy it conveyed. By releasing resistance, he had discovered his true artistic voice. His journey mirrors the universal pattern. When you stop forcing outcomes and allow your natural alignment with abundance, life responds with grace. The universe doesn't require your strain or struggle. It invites your trust, your allowance, your gentle participation in its flow. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and picture yourself floating on a crystal-clear river. Feel the gentle current supporting you, carrying you effortlessly downstream. With each breath, repeat softly, "Everything good comes with grace." Stay with this visualization until you sense a lightness in your being, a buoyant trust in life's natural flow. Chapter 8. The Architecture of Belief. In a small coastal village, where waves whispered ancient secrets to the shore, Lillian Mercer discovered the hidden law of creation through the simplest of activities. Each morning, as the sun painted golden paths across the water, she would kneel in the cool sand and build her castles. Unlike other children who accepted the temporary nature of their creations, Lillian held an unusual conviction. She believed with absolute certainty that her sandcastles would endure. Day by day, something remarkable began to unfold. Her structures stood firm against the tide, their towers remaining intact long after others had crumbled. The local fishermen would pause in their work, marveling at how her castles seemed to defy the natural order. Yet it wasn't magic that preserved them. It was the unwavering power of her belief. Within this truth lies one of the universe's most potent principles. Belief shapes reality. Your thoughts are not mere reflections of what exists. They are the architects of what will be. Every conviction you hold carves pathways through the quantum field, establishing patterns that reality must follow. Consider Raymond Haskell, who owned a modest shop in a forgotten corner of the marketplace. Where others saw struggle, he chose to see certainty. Each morning, he would unlock his door not with hope, but with absolute knowing. He treated success not as a possibility, but as an inevitability already written in the stars. Soon, customers began appearing as if summoned by his conviction. His shelves, once dusty with waiting, now required constant restocking. The universe had no choice but to align with his unshakable faith. Your beliefs are not passive observers of your journey. They are the very foundation upon which your experiences are built. Just as a blueprint guides the construction of a building, your convictions guide the assembly of circumstances around you. What you believe with certainty becomes the mortar that holds together the bricks of your manifestations. The universe responds not to what you wish for, but to what you know to be true in the depths of your being. When doubt whispers its questions, remember that belief is not about forcing yourself to accept what seems improbable. Instead, it is about recognizing the natural law that thoughts held with conviction must eventually materialize in form. Ancient practice of certainty. As you close your eyes, engrave one gentle belief inside your awareness until it feels carved in certainty. Let it settle into your consciousness like a seed finding its perfect soil, knowing that from this planted conviction, a new reality must grow. Chapter 9. The Dance of Emotion. In a sunlit room filled with warmth and gentle shadows, Viola Whitaker discovered a truth that would forever change how you understand the weaving of reality. As her needle dipped and rose through layers of fabric, she noticed something extraordinary. When her heart sang with joy, her quilting took on an almost supernatural precision. The stitches aligned with mathematical perfection, creating patterns more intricate than her conscious mind could plan. This observation points to a fundamental principle of existence. Emotion is not merely a response to life, but the very current through which creation flows. Your feelings shape the material world with as much certainty as a potter shapes clay. Just as Viola's happiness guided her needle, your emotional vibration guides the arrangement of circumstances in your life. Norman Pierce embodied this principle in ways that transformed not only his reality, but the fabric of possibility itself. Where others saw competition, he chose to celebrate the achievements of those around him. Each time a colleague received a promotion or a friend succeeded in business, Norman felt genuine delight surge through his being. He did not force this response. It flowed naturally from his understanding that abundance multiplies when shared. Within months, opportunity began seeking Norman out. Clients appeared as if summoned by his frequency of joy. Business partnerships formed effortlessly, each one more prosperous than the last. He had unknowingly activated one of the universe's most potent laws. What you celebrate multiplies. His genuine pleasure in others' success became the magnet that drew success to his own door. These experiences reveal a profound truth. Your emotional state is not passive, but creative. Every feeling you nurture becomes a blueprint that reality must follow. Joy is not just a response to good fortune. It is the very force that brings fortune into being. Ancient practice of vibrational alignment. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Place your hand over your heart and allow warm gratitude to well up from within. Feel it ripple outward from your chest like waves on a pond, carrying the signal of joy into the quantum field. Know that this feeling is not just an expression, it is an instruction to tomorrow. Let this vibration of appreciation flow freely for several minutes, understanding that you are literally programming the matrix of creation. This practice, passed down through generations of wisdom keepers, aligns you with the creative force that shapes all reality. Chapter 10. The Signature of Gratitude. A tale passed down through generations speaks of Beatrice Albright, who discovered one of the most potent secrets of manifestation. In her modest home, she kept a wooden box filled with every note of appreciation she had ever received. These weren't mere pieces of paper. They were vibrations of gratitude captured in written form. When shadows of doubt crept into her thoughts, or when the world seemed to constrict around her, Beatrice would sit quietly with her collection. As she read each card, the energy of thankfulness contained within those words would wash over her, lifting her spirit back to its natural state of abundance. Through this simple practice, she learned that gratitude isn't just a response to receiving. It's the very frequency that attunes you to the wealth already flowing through the universe. This truth echoes through time in the story of Milton Crane, whose relationship with the earth transformed through the power of appreciation. Each morning before the sun touched his fields, Milton would walk his land, whispering words of thanks to the soil beneath his feet. He recognized the miracle in every grain of earth, expressing genuine gratitude for its silent partnership in creation. As seasons passed, something remarkable occurred. His crops began to flourish beyond explanation. The harvest doubled, then tripled, as though the earth itself responded to his appreciation. The land seemed to bloom more vibrantly under the warmth of his gratitude, revealing that nature itself resonates with the frequency of thankfulness. These stories illuminate a profound truth. Gratitude is not simply a virtue. It is a force that realigns your energy with the natural flow of abundance. When you cultivate genuine appreciation, you tune yourself to the frequency where prosperity already exists. Like a radio finding the perfect signal, gratitude adjusts your reception to the endless stream of good already moving through the universe. The ancient practice. As you prepare for rest each night, sit quietly and whisper 3 sincere expressions of thanks. Let each one rise from your heart like gentle incense, feeling the universe's loving response echo back to you. In this sacred exchange, you'll discover that gratitude is not just a practice. It is the very pulse of abundance itself. Part 2. The Mastery of Frequencies. Chapter 11. The Compass of Desire. In the quiet valleys where wisdom whispers its most cherished secrets, there lived a woman named Dorothy Caldwell. From her earliest memories, she carried within her heart an unwavering love for animals. This wasn't merely a passing fancy or a simple preference. It was a pure flame of desire that illuminated her path with crystal clarity. Unlike those who chase hollow ambitions born of comparison or society's expectations, Dorothy's yearning sprang from a wellspring of authentic joy. Each time she encountered an animal, her entire being resonated with a frequency of purpose. She didn't question or analyze this calling. Instead, she followed its gentle pull, like a leaf carried by a knowing stream. As she honored this inner compass, remarkable shifts began occurring in her outer world. Opportunities appeared as naturally as dawn follows night. A chance to volunteer at a sanctuary, an unexpected inheritance that funded her studies in animal behavior, and eventually the manifestation of her own haven for creatures in need. The universe seemed to conspire to align circumstances with her heart's truest song. Through Dorothy's journey, we glimpse a fundamental truth about desire's role in shaping reality. When longing springs from joy rather than lack, it becomes a beacon guiding you toward your destined path. True desire doesn't drain, it energizes. It doesn't demand, it inspires. It serves as nature's way of pointing you toward your unique contribution to life's grand tapestry. This wisdom found another expression through Leonard Briggs, a conductor whose roots transformed through the power of aligned desire. Rather than merely wishing for peaceful journeys, he held within himself an unwavering expectation of harmony. This wasn't hope tinged with doubt, but rather a calm knowing that peace was the natural state of his experience. As he maintained this clear frequency of tranquil expectation, his bus became a sanctuary of serenity. Passengers found themselves speaking more softly, showing more consideration, as though Leonard's inner peace had created an invisible field that invited everyone's highest nature to emerge. The ancient practice. In the sacred quiet of this moment, allow yourself to recognize one feeling that brings light to your being. It might be the gentle warmth of caring for others, the excited flutter of creating something new, or the steady glow of sharing wisdom. Whatever this feeling may be, let it become your compass. Allow its subtle guidance to direct your thoughts naturally toward experiences that amplify this light. This isn't about forcing a direction. It's about following the quiet call of your truest joy. Chapter 12. The Field of Receiving. In a small coastal town, Alma Prescott worked tirelessly at her bakery, giving away extra loaves to those in need. Each morning she baked with love, sharing her creations freely. Yet her own shelves at home remained sparse, her dreams of abundance unfulfilled. Until one dawn, watching waves pull back before rushing to shore, she understood. The ocean itself knows the rhythm of give and take. The wisdom lies in this eternal dance. Giving creates space, but receiving fills it with new life. Just as the shore embraces each wave, your spirit must remain open to accept what the universe offers. Many walk through life with closed hands, wondering why blessings slip past their grasp. The law of attraction responds not just to what you give, but to your willingness to receive. Ralph Tinsley, a skilled craftsman, once deflected every word of praise about his woodwork. "It's nothing," he would say, "or anyone could do this." His workshop overflowed with beautiful pieces, yet customers were few. One day, an old master artisan visited his shop and spoke words that changed everything. When you dishonor a compliment, you close the door to abundance. From that moment, Ralph began accepting praise with simple gratitude. "Thank you. I put my heart into this piece," he would say. As his acceptance grew, so did his prosperity. Orders increased, opportunities emerged, and his work found its way into prestigious galleries. His story teaches that receiving gracefully is not pride. It is permission for abundance to flow. The universe operates through balance. Every out-breath requires an in-breath. Every gift needs a receiver. When you resist receiving, you create resistance in all areas of life. Money, love, success. These energies flow where they find welcome. Your acceptance is the channel through which abundance enters. Think of yourself as a vessel. Giving empties the vessel, creating space for new blessings. But if you never allow that vessel to be filled, you eventually have nothing left to give. True abundance comes from maintaining this sacred flow, the endless circle of giving and receiving. Ancient practice. Picture invisible hands offering brightness. Allow yourself to take it without apology. Feel the warmth of receiving fill your being. Let this light pool within you until it overflows naturally into giving once again. Chapter 13. The Noisy Mind and the Quiet Truth. A soft rain fell outside Cora Belle Hastings' window as she paced her small apartment, voice growing hoarse from repeating affirmations with increasing desperation. "I am abundant. I am successful," she called out, as though volume could force the universe's hand. Yet with each forceful declaration, her desired reality seemed to slip further from view. Then one morning, exhausted from her efforts, Cora simply sat in her favorite chair and let silence fill the room. In that gentle quiet, a curious thing occurred. Her mind cleared like a pond settling after a storm. The whispers of intuition, once drowned by her own shouting, began to surface with crystal clarity. It was in these moments of peace that life began to shift, not through force, but through allowing. The nature of manifestation reveals itself through such stories. When we cease creating static with our striving, the signal of our true desires transmits with pristine clarity. The universe responds not to volume, but to coherence. In stillness, our frequency aligns naturally with what we seek. Bernard Trueblood discovered this same principle in his mechanical workshop. For years, he approached each repair with rigid determination, consulting manuals and following strict procedures. Yet, his finest work emerged when he learned to quiet his analytical mind and let his hands be guided by something deeper. "It's as though the machines speak to me now," he would say, "but only when I'm quiet enough to listen." Where once he fought with stubborn bolts and mysterious engine troubles, he now moved with an effortless grace that made complex repairs appear simple. His customers began to say he had magic hands, though Bernard knew it wasn't magic at all. It was the wisdom that comes when effort yields to intuition. These tales illuminate an essential truth. The art of receiving requires not force, but receptivity. Like a radio finding clear reception between stations, our alignment with desire occurs naturally when we stop creating interference. The universe's abundance flows not through the channels we strain to create, but through the spaces we allow to remain open. Practice. Take a moment now to settle into stillness. Let your breath flow naturally as you rest in quiet awareness. Notice how this state of receptive curiosity already holds the answers that mental effort struggles to grasp. In this gentle attention, free from striving, you'll find that quiet awareness already knows what noise seeks. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Dimension of Play. In a small cottage at the edge of town, Nellie Gardner discovered a truth that would transform her understanding of universal law. Each morning, as she faced her mounting list of household duties, she began inventing playful games around her tasks. While washing dishes, she imagined each plate as a moon reflecting light. During sweeping, she pretended the broom was conducting an orchestra of dust motes dancing in sunbeams. What started as simple amusement revealed a profound secret. When she approached her work with lightness, mysterious aid seemed to appear. Tasks that once required an hour now completed themselves in minutes. Objects appeared to arrange themselves more harmoniously, and solutions emerged without strain. The universe responds not to the weight of our labor, but to the frequency of our being. When you elevate your vibration through play, you align with the natural flow of creation. All of existence emerged from the joy of divine expression, not from burden or necessity. This truth lies hidden in plain sight. Children manifest their desires more easily because they haven't yet learned to make manifestation difficult. In the bustling financial district downtown, Wilbur Kemp made a similar discovery within the rigid confines of his accounting firm. During long hours of calculating figures, he began adorning his spreadsheet margins with whimsical sketches. As his pen wandered in abstract patterns, he noticed his work becoming more accurate, his clients more satisfied, and his income steadily rising. Without realizing it, Wilbur had tapped into a fundamental principle. Creativity flows best through relaxed awareness. His playful doodles weren't mere distraction, but a form of meditation that allowed his natural abundance to surface. By releasing the grip of serious effort, he created space for prosperity to enter effortlessly. The universe delights in supporting those who approach life with wonder rather than worry. When you transform obligation into opportunity for joy, you shift from pushing against life to dancing with it. Manifestation accelerates not through force, but through frequency alignment. Play isn't frivolous. It's the most direct path to power. Practice. As you engage in your next task, smile gently and infuse it with an element of play. Let this be your secret ingredient in the alchemy of manifestation. Feel how lightness attracts light, and watch as the universe mirrors your joy with increasing ease. Chapter 15. The Bridge of Faith. In a small town lived a woman named Hattie Lou Rogers, whose garden defied the laws of nature. The soil was hard and unyielding, the kind that made even weeds think twice before taking root. Yet where others saw impossibility, Hattie Lou saw only potential waiting to unfold. Each morning she would walk among her empty flower beds, sprinkling seeds with the same certainty that one greets the sunrise. She never questioned whether they would grow. She simply knew they would. Within weeks, the stubborn earth erupted in a symphony of colors, as though the ground itself had surrendered to her unwavering expectation. The power that flows through existence responds not to what your eyes perceive, but to what your heart knows to be true. When you plant a seed, Whether in soil or in the fertile ground of possibility, it is not the physical act that ensures its growth, but the invisible certainty that accompanies it. Consider Clarence Morton, who worked in the city's bustling financial district. While others clutched desperately to charts and predictions, Clarence learned to trust the quiet whisper of intuition that spoke beneath the numbers. His colleagues called him reckless when he followed hunches that contradicted market analysis. Yet time and again, doors opened precisely where his inner knowing had pointed. This truth echoes across the ages. Faith is not blind hope, but rather the clearest vision of all. It sees past the illusion of impossibility into the realm where all things are already complete. When you stand firmly in this knowing, the universe has no choice but to reshape itself around your certainty. The unseen bridge between desire and manifestation is built not of wood or steel, but of unshakable trust. Each step you take in faith adds another plank to this bridge, until what once seemed an uncrossable chasm becomes a well-worn path. Your dreams hover just beyond the veil of current reality, waiting for you to build that bridge of faith toward them, like Hattie Lou's flowers pushing through impossible soil, or Clarence's intuition guiding him to success. Your unwavering belief creates the very path you walk upon. Ancient wisdom whispers that faith transforms thought into form, dream into reality, the invisible into the visible. It is the master key that unlocks the door between what is and what could be. Practice. Settle into a comfortable position and close your eyes. Sense strong footing beneath your unseen dreams, walking calmly across certainty's bridge. Feel each step becoming solid beneath you as you move forward, knowing that your faith itself creates the path you travel. Chapter 16. The Echo of Thought. In the quiet village of Millbrook, Estelle Farnsworth stood at her window each morning, watching clouds gather and disperse. On days when she voiced complaints about the rain, storms seemed to linger longer, puddles grew deeper, and the sky appeared more ominous than ever before. Her muttered words of discontent became prophecies, manifesting precisely what she feared most. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, mirrors our inner weather with unwavering precision. Each thought radiates outward like ripples on a pond, returning to us magnified and multiplied. When Estelle finally understood this principle, she began blessing the rain instead. "Thank you for nourishing the earth," she would whisper. And remarkably, the clouds began to part as if responding to her shifted perception. This eternal law of reflection operates ceaselessly, transforming our mental atmosphere into physical reality. Every criticism becomes a boomerang. Every blessing multiplies itself. The world you see is not separate from the thoughts you think. It is their direct extension, their living embodiment. Gilbert Lockhart discovered this truth during his daily commute through the bustling streets of the city. Where once he cursed the traffic, he began to view each red light as a moment of sacred pause, each delay as divine timing. To the amazement of his passengers, traffic signals seemed to respond to his peaceful acceptance, turning green just as he approached. What appeared as coincidence was actually the natural response of a listening universe to his transformed vibration. The principle remains constant. Whatever we send into the quantum field returns to us with mathematical precision. Complaint attracts more reasons to complain. Gratitude magnetizes more occasions for thanksgiving. The echo of our thoughts creates the contours of our experience. When you understand this law, you realize that every moment offers a choice to curse or to bless, to resist or to embrace. The universe awaits your signal, ready to reflect whatever frequency you choose to broadcast. It cannot help but mirror your dominant thoughts, for this is the very mechanism by which reality operates. Practice. As the sun sets this evening, send forth one kind thought into the vastness of space. Feel it ripple outward like a stone cast into still waters. Then wait in receptive silence as existence replies, returning your blessing with the precision of a canyon's echo, bright and immediate. Watch as your reality reshapes itself to match the beauty of your intention. Chapter 17. The Ladder of Awareness. In a modest home at the edge of town, Minnie Bloomfield discovered a truth that would transform her understanding of reality's nature. Each evening, as shadows lengthened across her walls, she developed a sacred practice. Rather than allowing herself to sink into the weight of daily concerns, she imagined climbing an invisible ladder, each rung representing something that sparked gratitude in her heart. With every step upward in her mind's eye, her vibration lifted subtly higher. The first rung might hold thanks for morning sunlight, the next for the melody of birdsong, another for the strength in her limbs. As she ascended this ethereal structure, her entire being seemed to float above the density of worldly troubles. What Minnie stumbled upon reveals a fundamental law. Consciousness operates on levels, each reflecting a different quality of perception. When you remain caught in lower vibrations of complaint or fear, reality appears through a darker lens. Yet as you elevate your awareness through appreciation, the very same circumstances begin to shimmer with possibility. This truth found perfect demonstration through Horace Finley, whose heart had long carried the heavy stone of resentment. For years, he nursed grievances against a former business partner who he believed had wronged him. This burden colored every aspect of his existence until one morning, something within him quietly shifted. In a moment of profound clarity, Horace chose to release his grip on that ancient hurt. As forgiveness flowed through him, an immediate lightness replaced the familiar weight. The world around him seemed to brighten, as though someone had wiped clean a dusty window. That single act of emotional liberation altered not only his inner landscape but the outer one as well. Opportunities appeared, relationships sweetened, and fortune smiled upon his endeavors. Through Horace's experience, we witness how compassion serves as an elevator of consciousness. When you free others from judgment, you simultaneously free yourself from the lower frequencies that judgment requires. This liberation allows your energy to soar naturally toward higher planes of experience. The quantum field responds not to what you think, but to the level from which you think it. Elevated consciousness attracts elevated circumstances, while thoughts tethered to fear can only manifest more reasons to be afraid. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment as day turns to dusk. Close your eyes and visualize a golden ladder extending upward through layers of light. On each rung, place one generous thought about life, about others, about yourself. Feel how each kind consideration lifts you higher into the pure atmosphere of possibility. Let your entire being float upward on waves of appreciation until you sense yourself touching the edge of divine perspective. From this height, observe how different life appears. knowing this elevated view is always available when you choose to climb gratitude's ladder. Chapter 18. The Symphony of Cooperation. In a quaint village church, Bessie Lou Carver discovered the multiplying power of shared intention. Each Thursday evening, she joined the community choir, where voices blended in sacred harmony. At first, she focused solely on hitting the right notes, but as weeks passed, she noticed something extraordinary. When the voices merged in perfect unity, a tangible wave of joy swept through the chapel, touching not just the singers, but everyone present. This joy began spilling beyond the church walls. The baker across the street reported increased sales during rehearsal times. The florist's roses bloomed more vibrantly on choir nights. Even passing strangers would pause outside, drawn by an inexplicable feeling of well-being that radiated from within. The universal law revealed through Bessie's experience speaks to the exponential nature of collective vibration. When multiple hearts attune to the same frequency, the power grows not by simple addition, but by magnificent multiplication. One candle may illuminate a corner, but many candles joined together can transform darkness into daylight. Franklin Dodge, manager of a small manufacturing plant, intuitively understood this principle. Rather than pursuing profit through conventional means alone, he began gathering his employees for brief moments of shared appreciation before each shift. They would stand in a circle, each expressing gratitude for something specific about their work or lives. Initially, some workers approached these gatherings with skepticism. Yet as days turned to weeks, an unmistakable shift occurred. The factory floor hummed with newfound efficiency. Problems that once caused friction resolved themselves with unexpected ease. Most remarkably, the company's profits began climbing steadily, surpassing all previous records. What Franklin had tapped into was the ancient wisdom that when hearts beat in unison, reality itself responds in kind. Just as multiple voices create overtones impossible for a single singer to produce, multiple minds focused on the same positive frequency generate a force that transcends individual capability. The quantum field responds not just to personal vibration, but to the magnificent chorus of collective consciousness. When you join your energy with others in harmony, you participate in a power that can reshape circumstances with supernatural ease. Ancient practice of harmonic alignment. Find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Picture yourself as a single note in one vast cosmic chord, resonating goodwill through every shared breath. Feel your vibration merging with the infinite symphony of existence, knowing that your energy contributes to the universal song. Let this awareness guide you into deep harmony with all of life. Chapter 19. The Gravity of Choice. In an old market square, Pearl Godfrey stood before two merchant stalls, each offering apprenticeships. The first promised steady work binding books, respectable, secure, and entirely expected of a woman in her position. The second offered training in the art of glass blowing, uncertain, unconventional, but the mere thought of it made her heart leap with anticipation. For days, she weighed the options in her mind, listing practical reasons to choose the bookbinder's offer. Yet each time she walked past the glassblower's shop, the dancing flames and flowing forms called to her spirit. Against all conventional wisdom, she followed the pull of joy rather than the push of obligation. Within months, her glass pieces began attracting attention from collectors who sensed something special in her work. The invisible ingredient of authentic passion made visible in each creation. The universe speaks through the language of feeling. When you stand at life's crossroads, logic may present compelling arguments, but your emotional resonance reveals the path aligned with your highest good. Just as water naturally finds its course downstream, your spirit recognizes its true direction through the signal of enthusiasm. Consider Everett Sloane, who managed a small workshop crafting wooden toys. When orders fell behind schedule, conventional wisdom suggested pushing workers harder and extending hours. Instead, Everett noticed how creativity flourished when his craftsmen were enjoying their work. He transformed what others saw as production obstacles into opportunities for inspiration, encouraging his team to approach each challenge with curiosity rather than dread. Soon, the workshop's toys gained reputation, not just for quality, but for carrying a certain magic, the joyful energy of their creation somehow preserved in the wood grain. Orders increased naturally, and work flowed with an ease that no amount of forced effort could have achieved. These experiences illuminate a fundamental truth. Enthusiasm is not merely an emotional response to circumstances, but a creative force that shapes them. When you align with joy, you tap into the universe's natural current. Resistance melts, synchronicities multiply, and what seemed like barriers become bridges to greater possibility. Sacred practice. Allow joy to tilt your next choice toward ease, letting alignment settle the matter. Chapter 20. The frequency of forgiveness. In a small cottage at the edge of town, Irene Weatherby spent 20 years nurturing a grudge against her childhood friend who had betrayed her trust. The weight of this resentment hung like heavy curtains across her windows, dimming the light in every room of her life. Each morning she would polish her grievance like tarnished silver, keeping it bright and sharp in her memory. The universe speaks through the language of energy. Your thoughts and emotions create a vibrational frequency that attracts matching experiences into your life. When you hold on to past hurts, you anchor yourself to that former pain, creating resistance to the natural flow of abundance. This resistance manifests as stagnation in all areas of life. Wealth, relationships, and opportunities pass by like clouds, unable to rain upon parched soil. Forgiveness is not about condoning actions that caused pain. Rather, it is a sacred act of energetic release, freeing yourself from the bonds that tie you to lower frequencies. When you forgive, you don't change the past. You transform your present relationship with it. This shift in perspective allows fresh energy to flow into your life, opening channels that were previously blocked by resentment. Luther Finch, a merchant who had fallen on difficult times, discovered this truth through an unexpected path. After years of pursuing unpaid debts with increasing bitterness, he received a message in meditation: release to receive. Following this guidance, he sent letters to his debtors, forgiving their obligations completely. Within months, his warehouse filled with new opportunities. Former customers, touched by his generosity, returned with larger orders. The very act of releasing his grip on what was owed created space for abundance to flow. The law of attraction responds not to your words or actions, but to the vibrational essence of your being. When you clear the static of old grievances, you tune yourself to the frequency of universal love, the baseline state of all creation. This frequency naturally attracts positive experiences, just as light attracts life. Ancient wisdom practice. Find a quiet moment and seat yourself comfortably. Close your eyes and picture a warm, golden light descending from above. Let this light flow through your body, dissolving any pockets of resentment it touches. Feel each breath releasing old hurts, transforming them into pure energy. As the weight of grudges lifts, notice how your entire being feels lighter, clearer, more open to receiving life's gifts. Continue until you sense a new spaciousness within, knowing that you have created room for abundance to enter. Part 3. Living as Quantum Light. Chapter 21. The Union of Heart and Mind. In a sunlit study overlooking rolling hills, Grace Holloway spent years attempting to compartmentalize her life. Each decision passed through rigid gates of logic, while emotions were filed away in neat boxes labeled irrelevant. She excelled in her scientific pursuits but felt an emptiness that no rational explanation could address. Until one morning, when exhaustion drove her to try meditation, not as a spiritual practice, but as a last resort for her insomnia. Within the silence, a profound truth emerged. The heart and mind are not adversaries, but dance partners in the cosmic waltz of creation. The universe operates not through division, but through seamless unity. Your thoughts and feelings are not separate forces, but complementary energies designed to work in perfect harmony. When you attempt to separate logic from emotion, you create resistance in the natural flow of manifestation. The mind alone can architect grand plans, but without the heart's magnetic power of feeling, these blueprints remain lifeless on the drawing board. Similarly, pure emotion without the mind's discerning wisdom can scatter energy like seeds in the wind, never taking root. The law of attraction responds most powerfully to coherence, when your thoughts and feelings align like instruments in an orchestra playing the same melody. This alignment creates a clear signal that the universe can readily respond to, rather than mixed messages that cancel each other out. Orville Jenkins, a gifted inventor, discovered this truth in his workshop. For decades, he approached his creations with pure technical precision, yet his breakthrough came only when he allowed himself to feel childlike wonder while working. His equations and emotions merged into what he called inspired mathematics. And suddenly, his inventions seemed to assemble themselves. The universe responded to his wholeness with an outpouring of creativity. This union of mind and heart is not merely a theoretical concept, but a practical tool for manifestation. When you allow your logical understanding to be warmed by emotional wisdom, and your feelings to be guided by clear thinking, you access a power greater than either force alone. This is the state of coherence where miracles become natural outcomes. Ancient wisdom practice. Find a peaceful space and settle into a comfortable position. Place your right hand over your heart center and your left hand on your forehead. Allow your breath to flow naturally, creating a bridge between these two centers of wisdom. With each inhale, feel your mind's clarity flowing down to meet your heart's warmth. With each exhale, sense your heart's wisdom rising to embrace your thoughts. Continue breathing until you experience these energies merging into a single, harmonious pulse. In this unified state, notice how your entire being resonates with the frequency of wholeness, where manifestation flows without effort. Chapter 22. The Currents of Time. On a quiet evening in autumn, Vera Templeton stood frozen in her kitchen, gripped by an overwhelming sense of familiarity. The steam rising from her teacup, the exact angle of sunlight through her window, the distant church bells. She had lived this moment before. Yet this wasn't mere déjà vu. It was a recognition that time flows in patterns, responding to the magnetic pull of aligned intention. Time, you see, is not the rigid arrow that conventional wisdom suggests. It is more like an ocean, with currents that respond to the gravitational force of focused thought and feeling. When you align your intention with universal law, you create a resonance that draws past, present, and future into harmony. This truth reveals itself in the subtle ways reality seems to loop and spiral, bringing you precisely what you have energetically declared as truth. Your thoughts and feelings are not simply reactions to time's passage. They are the very forces that shape its flow. Edwin Rayner understood this principle through direct experience. Each night, he would sit in his small apartment and visualize his dream bookstore with perfect clarity. He saw the warm wooden shelves, smelled the leather bindings, heard the soft murmur of contentment from browsing customers. He held this vision not as a future hope, but as a present reality. Months later, when he walked into the building that would become his store, he experienced a profound recognition. Every detail matched his visualization, from the arched windows to the antique reading lamps. The future he had lived in his mind had curved back to meet him in physical form. The universe operates in spirals, not lines. Each thought you think sends ripples both forward and backward through the fabric of time. When you maintain crystal-clear intention, you create a resonance so strong that time itself must bend to match your vibration. Think of intention as a lighthouse beam sweeping across the ocean of time. Where it shines, possibilities gather and coalesce into form. This is why moments of déjà vu often accompany manifestation. You are recognizing the alignment of your energetic blueprint with physical reality. Ancient wisdom practice. Find a quiet moment as day turns to evening. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to the eternal now. Feel gratitude flowing backward through time to your past self, whose choices and growth brought you to this moment. Then extend that same gratitude forward to your future self, who holds the wisdom of what is yet to come. Let this appreciation flow until you sense all points of time merging into one perfect present moment of creation. Chapter 23. The Hologram of Love. In a small town where neighbors rarely spoke, Eula May Patterson began a quiet revolution. Each morning she placed fresh flowers on random doorsteps, tucked encouraging notes into library books, and left coins in playground sandboxes for children to discover. She never signed her name or sought recognition, understanding that pure kindness requires no signature. As weeks passed, a remarkable transformation unfolded. When her garden tools broke, a new set appeared on her porch. When she missed the bus, someone always offered a ride. When winter storms knocked out power, neighbors she'd never met brought warm meals and blankets. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, had created a perfect mirror of her generosity. The principle reveals itself. What we extend into the quantum field must return, for energy cannot be lost. It can only be transformed. Every act of kindness creates a ripple in the fabric of reality, weaving new patterns of connection that transcend physical distance. This is not mere coincidence, but the natural law of vibrational resonance. Clyde Harmon discovered this truth through an unexpected path. As owner of a small hardware store, he faced fierce competition when a large chain opened nearby. Instead of harboring resentment, he began sending silent blessings to his competitors each morning. He visualized their success alongside his own, refusing to see them as enemies. Within months, something extraordinary happened. The manager of the chain store approached Clyde, proposing a partnership. They began complementing each other's services, sharing resources, and creating community events together. Their collaboration brought more prosperity to both businesses than competition ever could. Through Clyde's experience, we witnessed the power of transcending the illusion of separation. When we release the need to see others as opponents, we tap into the unified field where all success is shared. The universe responds not to our actions alone, but to the energy signature behind them. The ancient truth emerges. Love is the fastest frequency. It travels beyond the speed of thought, rearranging reality at the quantum level. When we choose unconditional kindness, we align with the universe's natural state of unity. Every act of genuine care becomes a key that unlocks doors we never knew existed. Practice. Imagine your heart expanding until its glow surrounds everyone you know with unchosen warmth. Chapter 24. The Sacred Paradox. In a small village among rolling hills, Ida Bell Foster sat rigidly in her garden, her jaw clenched as she attempted to find peace through sheer determination. Day after day she commanded herself to relax, growing increasingly frustrated when serenity eluded her grasp. The more intensely she pursued tranquility, the further it seemed to drift away, like a butterfly evading capture. One misty morning, as she watched dewdrops form on spider webs, understanding dawned. The dew had not forced its way into being. It had simply appeared in the natural rhythm of the world. In that moment, Ida Bell loosened her grip on seeking, and a profound calm washed over her. The universe had whispered its timeless truth. Force defeats flow. This sacred paradox beats at the heart of existence. When you release the need to control, true mastery emerges. The power you seek arrives not through conquest, but through acceptance. Like water finding its path, life moves with effortless grace when unopposed. Amos Barrett, a merchant in the same village, embodied this wisdom in his own way. Where others rushed to seize opportunities, he learned to rest in patient observation. Rather than pushing against time's current, he allowed decisions to ripen naturally. His choices flowed from a place of inner stillness rather than urgent demand. As weeks passed, Amos noticed a curious pattern. The more he surrendered to life's timing, the more precisely things fell into place. Opportunities arrived with perfect synchronicity, as though orchestrated by an unseen hand. His business flourished, not through aggressive action, but through aligned response. The universe operates through apparent contradictions. In weakness lies strength. In surrender lies power. In letting go lies receiving. These are not mere philosophical musings, but practical keys to mastery of life's flow. When you cease struggling against what is, you tap into the vast intelligence that orchestrates galaxies. Your surrender becomes a form of power, your acceptance a form of creation. Like a leaf riding the wind, you move in harmony with forces far greater than individual will. The highest form of manifestation emerges not from forcing reality to bend to your wishes, but from aligning so completely with universal flow that your desires and cosmic will become one. This is the art of non-resistant living, not passive resignation, but active harmony with what seeks to emerge through you. Practice. Smile at contradiction and let both opposites coexist peacefully within your breath. Chapter 25. The Radiant Body Within. In the gentle hours before dawn, Susanna Prentice would sit quietly in her wooden rocking chair, eyes closed, envisioning a warm golden light surrounding her body. Each morning, she allowed this radiant energy to seep into every cell, every tissue, every organ. As days turned to weeks, a remarkable transformation occurred. Her step grew lighter, her eyes brighter, and vitality flowed through her like a spring stream. The wisdom revealed through Susanna's practice speaks to an ancient truth. Your body responds to the light of consciousness you shine upon it. When you direct loving awareness to your physical form, it awakens to its own innate healing intelligence. The subtle energy field that surrounds and interpenetrates your being becomes a conduit for life force itself. Ralph Goodwin discovered this same principle through a different doorway. Confined to bed with a persistent illness, he began a practice of blessing each part of his body with gratitude. Starting with his toes and moving upward, he would thank each limb, organ, and system for its service. Thank you, feet, for carrying me through life. Thank you, legs, for your strength and support. Thank you, heart, for your faithful beating. At first, the practice felt mechanical, almost foolish. But as Ralph persisted, something shifted within him. The fog of illness began to lift, not suddenly but gradually, like morning mist dissolving in sunlight. His gratitude had activated a deeper current of healing, demonstrating that consciousness itself holds regenerative power. Your body is more than mere matter. It is light condensed into form, energy crystallized into structure. Each cell contains the wisdom of the universe. Each atom pulses with divine intelligence. When you direct loving attention to your physical vessel, you activate this inherent wisdom. Like a plant turning toward sunlight, your body responds to the radiance of your awareness. This is not merely metaphysical theory, but practical truth. Consciousness shapes physical reality. Your thoughts and feelings create subtle vibrations that influence the very molecules of your being. When you maintain an inner state of appreciation and light, your body naturally aligns with higher frequencies of health and vitality. Sacred practice. Take a moment now to sit quietly. Close your eyes and picture your body suffused with gentle golden light. See each cell glowing with quiet power, each atom singing a soft hymn of gratitude. Let this radiant awareness fill you completely, knowing that as you hold this light, you activate the body's innate healing wisdom. Chapter 26. The Infinite Dialogue. In a small sunlit cottage at the edge of a meadow, Maud Ellery discovered the sacred art of divine conversation. Each morning, as golden light filtered through her lace curtains, she would sit in peaceful communion with the universe. What began as traditional prayer soon transformed into something far more profound, a living dialogue that transcended time itself. One crisp autumn morning, before her lips could form the words, "I need guidance," an unexpected visitor knocked at her door bearing exactly the wisdom she sought. As weeks passed, this phenomenon repeated with increasing frequency. Solutions materialized before problems fully formed, opportunities appeared precisely when needed, and support arrived at the perfect moment. Through these experiences, Maud unveiled a fundamental truth. The universe doesn't wait for our questions to prepare its answers. The eternal dialogue flows ceaselessly between consciousness and creation. Your every thought ripples through the quantum field, initiating responses that often arrive before you fully articulate your needs. This instantaneous communication exists because, at the deepest level, you and the Source are one. There is no distance for the message to travel. Elmer Ketchum stumbled upon this truth through his dream journal. Each night he would write his heart's whispers onto paper, hopes, wonderings, and visions of what could be. As days unfolded, he noticed an extraordinary pattern emerging. The world around him began mirroring his written words with uncanny precision. A dream of reconnecting with an old friend would manifest as an unexpected letter the very next morning. A vision of career advancement would materialize as a surprise opportunity within days. What Elmer discovered was not mere coincidence, but evidence of the constant conversation between inner and outer realms. The universe doesn't require elaborate rituals or formal invocations. It reads the quiet longings of your heart and responds through the language of experience. This ongoing dialogue operates through feeling rather than words. When you attune yourself to this subtle exchange, you begin to recognize answers in the gentle nudges of intuition, the spontaneous ideas that arise in moments of quiet, and the synchronized events that guide your path. The key lies not in perfecting your requests, but in developing the sensitivity to recognize responses that are already unfolding. Every moment carries messages meant precisely for you. In the flight of a bird, the words of a stranger, or the song that plays exactly when you need to hear its message. Tonight's practice. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Whisper softly, "I acknowledge and appreciate the countless ways the universe responds to my unspoken needs." Feel the truth of these words resonate through your being, knowing that divine dialogue never ceases. It simply awaits your recognition. Chapter 27. The Signature Vibration. In a humble kitchen filled with morning light, Blanche Rowland discovered one of the universe's sweetest mysteries. As she wove love and laughter into each pie she baked, something magical began to unfold. Her pastries carried more than mere ingredients. They transported the very essence of joy itself. Those who tasted her creations spoke not just of the perfect balance of spices or the flaky golden crust, but of an inexplicable warmth that lingered long after the last crumb had vanished. The universe operates through vibrational resonance. Every thought, feeling, and intention carries its own unique frequency that shapes the physical world around it. When you align your inner state with pure joy, that frequency becomes your signature, touching everything you create with its unmistakable mark. Albert Crampton embodied this principle in his woodworking shop on Pine Street. His hands moved across rough timber with reverence and delight, each stroke of his tools guided by genuine love for his craft. Customers who entered his shop often paused, touched by an inexplicable sense of peace. They found themselves lingering among the sawdust and wood shavings, drawn not just by the beauty of his furniture, but by the tangible presence of joy that permeated every corner. What appears as matter is, in truth, frozen light responding to the frequency of consciousness. Your emotional state isn't merely a personal experience. It's a creative force that imprints itself upon the fabric of reality. When you engage in any activity from a place of authentic joy, you activate a higher frequency that naturally attracts its matching resonance. This truth reveals itself in countless ways throughout daily life. A meal cooked with love nourishes more deeply than one prepared mechanically. A letter written with genuine care carries healing beyond its words. A garden tended with happiness yields brighter blooms. The frequency of your being becomes the signature of your creation. Ancient practice of frequency alignment. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Allow your awareness to drift back to one perfectly joyful memory. It might be a moment of pure laughter, an instance of overwhelming love, or a time of complete peace. Let this memory fill your entire being until you feel its vibration humming through every cell. This is your eternal note, the authentic frequency of your highest self. Recognize that this tone isn't just a memory, but your natural state of being, always available to infuse your present moment with its transformative power. Chapter 28. The Gateway of Wonder. In a quaint village where roses climbed whitewashed walls, there lived a woman named Nettie Lou Hollis, who understood a secret most had forgotten. Each morning, as dawn painted the sky in gentle hues, she would pause at her window and whisper the same enchanted question, "What beautiful surprise waits today?" Through this simple practice, Nettie Lou discovered that life responded with uncanny precision to her anticipation of wonder. When others saw only ordinary moments, she witnessed poetry in motion. A butterfly landing on her teacup, a long-lost friend appearing at her gate, or a rainbow arcing across the sky at just the right moment. Her days became a string of small miracles, each one confirming that expectation shapes experience. The universe delights in answering the questions we ask with conviction. When you approach life with wonder rather than worry, existence itself transforms to match your vision. Like a mirror reflecting light, reality returns whatever frequency you project into it. Stanley Brewer, a clockmaker in the same village, learned this truth through his own transformation. For years, his workshop had been a temple of doubt, where every new idea was met with immediate skepticism. But one day, watching how Nettie Lou's life seemed charmed by her perpetual sense of wonder, he decided to experiment with a different approach. Instead of dismissing possibilities, Stanley began greeting each thought with genuine curiosity. "What if?" became his companion phrase, replacing "that won't work" in his daily vocabulary. Within weeks, his mind became fertile ground for innovation. Ideas that had once seemed impossible now appeared as natural as sunrise. His designs doubled in creativity, each one more ingenious than the last, as though curiosity itself was a key unlocking doors previously invisible. This shift illuminates a fundamental truth. Innocence is not naivete, but rather a state of pure creative potential. When you release the burden of knowing everything and embrace the joy of discovery, life responds with abundant inspiration. Wonder acts as a magnetic force, drawing forth experiences that match its vibrant frequency. The practice is simple yet profound. Instead of armoring yourself with certainty, open your awareness to possibility. Rather than forcing outcomes, invite them with gentle curiosity. Let each moment be fresh, unmarked by past disappointments or future anxieties. To enter this frequency of perpetual discovery, begin with this ancient practice. Find a quiet moment and settle into comfortable stillness. Take 3 deep breaths, letting each exhale carry away any tension or doubt. Then, With the innocence of a child discovering the world anew, ask softly, "What if everything is already working?" Allow this question to float in your consciousness, feeling how grace answers with calm assurance. Notice how your entire being relaxes into this truth, opening the gateway for endless possibilities to unfold. Chapter 29. The Silence Beyond Words. Along a sunlit path beneath ancient oaks, Flora McNair discovered one of existence's most precious secrets. As she sat with her dearest friend on a weathered garden bench, no words passed between them. In that sacred pause, she felt connection deepen like roots seeking water. The silence wasn't empty. It held everything their hearts needed to express. Through this wordless communion, Flora uncovered the truth that language often masks what silence reveals. The space between breaths carried more meaning than 1,000 conversations. In that gentle quiet, she sensed how the universe speaks without sound, how hearts understand without translation. When we release the need for constant noise, we align with the natural rhythm of creation. Just as flowers bloom without announcement and stars wheel silently overhead, our deepest transformations unfold in peaceful stillness. Roland Brewster, whose fingers had danced across piano keys for decades, found this same wisdom through music. One evening, while practicing a familiar sonata, he discovered that the spaces between notes held more power than the notes themselves. These moments of pause allowed the music to breathe, to touch the soul more deeply than mere sound could reach. As Roland embraced these sacred intervals, his performances transformed. Audiences felt moved not just by what he played, but by what he didn't play, by the delicate silence he wove between each note. His music became a bridge between the spoken and the unspoken, the visible and invisible realms. The quantum field responds not to noise but to clarity. When we quiet the mind's constant chatter, we attune to subtler frequencies where manifestation begins, like still water that perfectly reflects the sky. A quiet mind mirrors universal intelligence with perfect precision. In these moments of pure silence, you transcend the illusion of separation. Here, in the space between thoughts, lies the gateway to infinite possibility. Each quiet breath aligns you more deeply with the wordless wisdom that orchestrates galaxies. The practice. Find a comfortable position and allow your awareness to settle into complete stillness for 1 minute. Let go of any need to fill the space with thought or sound. Simply rest in the quiet, feeling how silence itself pulses with living presence. Notice how your consciousness naturally expands when given permission to be still. This is your true power, not in doing, but in being. Chapter 30. The Quantum Shift Embodied. In the gentle dawn of a new morning, Elsie Davenport stood at her kitchen window, washing dishes with a presence that transformed the mundane into the miraculous. As sunlight caught the soap bubbles, she saw universes dancing in their iridescent spheres. This simple shift in perception changed everything, not because she forced it, but because she remembered the truth that had always been there. You see, within each moment lies a doorway to the infinite. What appears ordinary shimmers with divine light when you recognize your true nature as consciousness itself. The dishes in your sink, the chair you sit in, the breath moving through your body, all are expressions of the same creative force that dreams galaxies into being. Elsie didn't need to make her life sacred. She simply removed the veil of familiarity that had hidden its inherent sanctity. When she touched a doorknob, she felt the miracle of metal shaped from Earth's body. When she swept her porch, she danced with wind and gravity. Every instant became an opportunity to recognize the extraordinary masquerading as the ordinary. Along the windswept shore, Willis Grady discovered this same truth through a different door. As waves lapped at his feet, the boundary between self and ocean began to dissolve. The rhythm of the tide matched his breath until he could no longer tell where he ended and the sea began. In that moment of surrender, he glimpsed what mystics have known through the ages. Separation is the illusion, unity the reality. You are not learning to manipulate energy or bend reality to your will. You are remembering what you have always been, the awareness in which all things arise. Like a wave, remembering it is ocean. Like a ray, remembering it is sun. You are consciousness, recalling its true nature. This is not about achieving or becoming. It is about recognizing what already is. The power you seek does not need to be created or earned. It is your original state, waiting to be remembered. When you glimpse this truth, even for a moment, the ordinary world reveals itself as paradise. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space and settle into stillness. Let your breath move naturally as you relax into pure awareness. Notice that you are not creating this moment. You are the space in which it unfolds. Rest here, allowing creation to breathe through you, knowing the awakening you seek has already happened. You are not becoming something new. You are remembering what you have always been. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. You have journeyed through the sacred corridors of quantum understanding, discovering that reality's essence flows from consciousness itself. Each breath you take participates in the universe's continuous unfoldment, and every thought ripples through the fabric of existence. This wisdom does not belong to a distant future or forgotten past. It pulses within you now, as natural as your heartbeat. The power you sought was never separate from your being. Like a wave remembering it is ocean, you now recognize that consciousness creates through you, as you. The stories shared in these chapters were mirrors, reflecting back your own innate ability to shape circumstance through awareness. When you speak to flowers and they bloom brighter, when you bless your work and abundance follows, when you forgive and feel instant liberation, these are not coincidences but confirmations. They reveal the law that has always governed creation. Consciousness precedes form, and feeling guides manifestation. This understanding brings both freedom and responsibility. You are not merely living in the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself through your unique expression. Each moment offers an opportunity to align with this truth, to let your thoughts and emotions flow in harmony with creation's highest good. Remember, you need not strain to make things happen. The quantum field responds not to force, but to frequency. Your role is to maintain the vibration of what you wish to experience, knowing it must manifest by universal law. Like gravity, this principle operates whether you believe in it or not, but your conscious participation amplifies its power in your life. Walk forward with the quiet confidence of one who knows they are inseparable from Source. The universe conspires for your highest good when you align with its natural abundance. You are not learning these principles. You are remembering what your soul has always known.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.